Welcome back to Hardball. Tonight's press conference was largely about health care, but President Obama threatened to step on his own headlines, I guess, as a leader with his answer to the last question of the night about the arrest of Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates. Eugene Robinson is a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for The Washington Post, and Howard Fineman is with Newsweek. Both are MSNBC political analysts. Gentlemen, let's watch President Obama answer the question about Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates, who was arrested at his own home, starting with this joke. Let's listen.
Well, I should say at the outset that Skip Gates is a friend, so I may be a little biased here. I don't know all the facts. What's been reported, though, is that the guy forgot his keys, jimmied his way to get into the house. There was a report called into the police station that there might be a burglary taking place. So far, so good, right? I mean, if I was trying to jigger in, well, I guess this is my house now, so it probably wouldn't happen. But let's say my old house in Chicago. Here I'd get shot. But so far, so good.
Well, then the president went on.
I don't know, not having been there and not seeing all the facts, what role race played in that. But I think it's fair to say, number one, any of us would be pretty angry. Number two, that the Cambridge police acted stupidly in arresting somebody when there was already proof that they were in their own home. And number three, what I think we know separate and apart from this incident is that there is a long history in this country of African Americans and Latinos being stopped by law enforcement disproportionately.
What do we make of this, Gene?
Well,
is he smart to get into this case in such detail?
Well, he was actually not, given that a couple of the details were wrong. I mean, he said that he'd forgotten his keys. That wasn't the case, and had jimmied his way into the door, and in fact he'd gone around the back. But I thought he was actually really careful in the way he talked about the case. He said, "I don't know what role race plays in it. I frankly might have gone further had I been talking about it." And I thought the points he made about the police having acted stupidly, because I don't think it's in dispute that they did know by the time the arrest was made, they knew they were dealing with a man in his own house. And I think, short of attacking a police officer in your own house, you can be obnoxious, even if that indeed is what Gates was. I think that's the allegation. But, you don't have to bring out tea and cookies for the policeman who's accosting you in your own house. So I think that was a fair thing to say. And I also think it was certainly fair to bring up the context. I mean, this sort of thing does happen.
Howard, I mean, one of the points of dispute is whether Professor Gates was willing to give his ID card over when the police officer asked for it. According to the police officer, he was slow to do so. Now, these are going to be disputed for months in the on the blogosphere, etc. But there you have it. That dispute is alive tonight.
I can just see it now. This is going to become another Rorschach test for us here.
Yeah.
I know Skip Gates some. He's widely respected. He's the guy who spent his whole life now at Harvard studying the history of race and racism in America. And this thing happened to him. So there's going to be a certain number of people whose hearts and minds are immediately going to flow to Skip Gates.
Sure.
Like the president.
Well, when you call him Skip, that's a start.
Okay, all right.
I mean, that means you're a friend of the guy.
And then there are going to be other people who are going to focus on the president saying that the Cambridge police acted stupidly.
Yeah.
They're going to get their backs up. They're going to say, wait a minute, this guy was abusive to the police officer, and they're going to connect it up with the fireman in New Haven. I can just see it all playing out there.
Here's how two human beings can behave.
One thing that should be pointed out, first of all. I don't know a lot of people who look less like a burglar or less like a threat. Skip Gates is about 5'6", 5'6"